Alright, welcome in. This is going to be another Stormgate cast, and I'm Algorithmore. This is going to be another one featuring the Vanguard player Riptide. Here, spawning in the old blue trunks. And his opponent in this matchup is actually going to be Reflash. Reflash from Korea. Strong Korean amateur. and Reflash is playing Infernal. I don't think that is normal main faction. I do believe, let me think if I get this right, I think he's a Celestial player, at least when I saw him before. And I also should mention that Reflash, I believe, is a rebranding of another player. I believe this is AIM. And I think he's just changed his name to Reflash recently. Maybe this is just an alt, I'm not sure. But that is what I've heard. In any case, he is a Korean amateur player. And since the ladder reset, has been one of the regulars higher up on the leaderboard. And same thing here with Riptide, our Vanguard player. I'll just remind you that this Vanguard player, Riptide, is also off faction. So this is an off faction battle. I say that, but I think Riptide may be planning to switch to Vanguard as their main faction. And we do see a third base, quick third base going down here for Reflash. Now Reflash is on a single vault. And is that a farm? Oh, I like how farms have become almost, well, they're not, I don't want to say preferred over Shroud Stones, but their value has become seen more recently. And I think that was due to a period where the meat farm was part of a rush against Celestial, which helped players kind of recognize the strength of Fell Hogs, basically. And here we see those Fell Hogs putting in work, killing some slimes, helping Reflash get some fiends and get some creep income. Meanwhile, back here, it is Lancers and Scout for Riptide. And more racks, more racks, more racks. It looks like all racks is here. Got a depot as well, I think. Yeah. There is a biokinetics lab going down in the back, so something tells me we're going to see bio play here with this many racks out. And what do we have starting out exactly? We're going for Quick Draw Hustle, which is, this is fairly standard opening for a Vanguard player versus Infernal. I mean, I think the Exos have once again become favored in this matchup, maybe all matchups for Vanguard. And we all know what that means with the upcoming patch. That might mean Exo damage gets nerfed once again. It's being a meme in the community, so we'll see if it happens. And yeah, if you are looking forward to that new patch, there's lots of cool things with some hotkey customization, some new stats for after the game, lots of cool features, and a lot of really cool looking lighting and graphics changes, texture changing. None of that stuff really affects gameplay as much, but it just feels good, it looks good, makes the game feel closer to that 1.0 release. So I'm pretty excited about it, and it's certainly going to get me back onto the ladder for a while. Here we might get a little, ooh. So the Exos, they aggro the Shadow Demons, and one of the Shadow Demons took a shot at the Fiends, and that was enough for Reflash to say, okay, I'll back off. Lancers show up to help the Exos here now. That's going to make this force kind of ugly and deadly looking for Reflash, and Reflash better be ready for this because they're moving right across the map here. Riptide's looking to do a little damage, gonna steal the vision here. And what do we have for Reflash here? A single mag can be useful in defending against these earlier bio pushes. And the problem here, I think, is that these bases are so spread out, so Riptide is wisely going for the third base here. There is a manifest in the back. I like the positioning on that. Some good focus fire to take out one of the Shroud Stones, and now that Manifest Shroud Stone is actually out of position. It was good for a second, but now not so great. And Reflash is doing the best he can to try and get in a good position to fight. His Mag, unfortunately, not getting out where he wants it to be. Wants it right in front. Now it's doing the trample. Managing to get a few shots off, but then in retreat. And these just Exos here, they're perfect for picking off that Mag. And yeah, they're going to scoop a few free brutes there. And now this meat farm's going to go down. Gaunt's leading the charge. A Nightfall Infestation trying to slow these units down for the Mag, but the Mag gets focus fire down. And that is it. This army is cut to pieces. And now, bye-bye Shroud Stone. It's an imp breakfast here. These Exos are just going to town. Bye-bye imps. Blood and guts everywhere, and we're going to see the end of this shrine. Now, what do we have? We do have a small army building up. I don't know if it's going to be able to handle all these Exos. There's just so many here. There's almost 20, it looks like. And we've got, what, 6, 7, 8 Gaunts here, plus a Brute. Doing the best. There may be a Manifest Shroud Stone. Not sure if it's on cooldown, but it's going to be hard. There's so many conclaves here. Not really surface area to plop it down. Single Meg comes out, gets picked off before he can do some serious damage. Weak Exos on the front line here, but oh, they get pulled back, and that's going to be GG out of Reflash. Alright, here we are in a second game from Riptide. Riptide again, spawning here in the blue Vanguard. And this time, Riptide's opponent's going to be johnyrico10. johnyrico10. And there was some rumors that johnyrico10, because he's high on the ladder and not well known in, say, the tournament community or in the discard community, there's this ongoing rumor that pretty much anyone at the top of the ladder that's an Infernal player must be an Andreas alt. However, I've heard from those in the know who did a little research for me, they did a little snooping, looked through some player histories, looked through some game match histories, and what they found was that johnyrico10 has played Andreas on the ladder. And that means they can't possibly be the same person unless Andreas is so skilled that he can micro two different players at the same time and beat himself, which you'd have to be really strong, because we all know Andreas is a very strong player. So that leads me to believe that johnyrico10 is his own johnyrico. He's just johnyrico. We don't know who he is. He doesn't play tournaments, but he doesn't need to play tournaments. That's not what this game's about. He can just play ladder matches against our friend Riptide, and then Riptide can submit them to me, and I can cast them. That's how this goes. So welcome johnyrico to the Algorithm cast today, and good luck in your match against Riptide. And Riptide already displayed some pretty strong Vanguard versus Infernal play last match when he played a Exo style, almost pure Exo there at the end of the game. We'll see what he does here. He's on 2 base. He's got 2 command posts, but only a single Rax. So very eco-focused. And meanwhile, we've got johnyrico10 out here killing some Shadow Mastiffs with his Broodies. And that's pretty standard. It looks like he might be on, yeah, double. We saw the double vault, but he's added the Conclave. And yeah, the Lumber Imp now is going to take that 3rd base. One Fiend going across the map, little Scout Fiend, try and get some information. Well, the creeping continues at the Vision Camp for johnyrico10. Maybe johnyrico is johnyrico2. Maybe this is binary. I am a computer scientist, and my brain needs to ask that question. Is he the 10th johnyrico, or is he a robot? Only Johnny knows. Only Johnny knows. Look at this Fiend. What you doing? That's a sneaky little Fiend. Just chilling out here. Maxing and relaxing. And here comes the Lancers. And they're going to go for their Shadow Mastiffs. And I kind of want to see what they're going to do when they discover sneaky old Fiend. Maybe they won't discover the Fiend at all. Maybe they'll just get frustrated and run away. we won't know until they finish killing these Shadow Mastiffs. Third Lancer comes to join the fun, chopping them, and now they're... Wait a second. Look how they're smart. Oh! So there's another little place you can hide right there. And the dog uses his howl to be like, ah, get out of here, Fiend. The Fiend says, no! Don't kill me. And look at this, running right to the corner of the water here, forcing those Lancers to go out of position to take it out. Which, that's just maybe going to delay this push, or at least those Lancers joining this push, for, I don't know, half a second, a couple seconds. Those seconds matter in these games. Not only because no one plays these games perfectly, so every little mistake, every little click could be done a little bit better, but also at these high levels, there's timing that is really mapped out, and you might know that, hey, if they show up at 4:02, I'm in trouble, but if they show up at 4:12, I'm doing fine. So anything you can do to delay those little pushes, and it comes down to little things like that, making those Lancers get out of position. However, Riptide didn't fully push in, pulled back to take out this Fiend who's stealing the old health camp. I do suspect that Riptide might want to push, though. We saw last game that Riptide builds up an Exo Ball and then just goes for it. And that's what I think we're seeing. Unless he's going for this Luminite camp. Might still take it on the way. It's a great... These camps, you know, when you take them, they give information to your player. But notice how it's also allowing Riptide to ball his units up a bit better. So he had a little parade of units across the map, but because he made those units sit there for just, you know, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, however long it takes to capture the tower, he allows him to ball up. It allows more units. These ones are rallied, I'm sure. Oh, he sends them back. Wonder what that's about. He's trying to get this, I'm guessing. But he does have a little attack force now arriving. There is a Venom Trap. I don't want to call it Shadow Mine. That sounds cool. There's a Shadow Mine. It's hiding in the shadows. But a Venom Trap, and look at that. A Venom Trap plus some Hellborn, and look how low these Exos are. No Medtechs yet, so that was worthy pushback. There's 3 Hellborns there. I wasn't really paying attention to Johnny Rico, but for Johnny Rico being just his own man, he's doing a good job of showing off his infernal skills like he might be an Andreas. He's got those talents. He was ready for that push with 3 Hellborn. Got his bases up here. Not fully saturated here, but I have a feeling, yeah, that a lot... How do you afford 3 Hellborn without having 17? He's got 17 imps on Therium. And that's the secret here, I think. If he had only had 1 Hellborn, those Exos may have just tore through that force. Look at this Scout Brute. Yeah, I might be slow and I may be melee based, but I will go scout my way across the map. And here he comes, Johnny Rico. Half the Exos here trapped at the Luminite. And look at that. Huge Nightfall Infestation followed up by Miasmas. These units do get away, though. They manage to... Look how low they are. A few of them might fall to the Infest, yeah, as those Miasmas flash. But look, a whole new force showing up. And we've got the force of Johnny Rico pulling back now. Everything turns to fight. Those Hellborn one-shotting a Lancer there. But Johnny Rico decides this is not a fight I'm going to win. Medtechs have shown up now. We can see Riptide's macros just full effect here. Got a nice supply lead. And that's not off the back of, you know, deleting any armies here. This is just off of the fact that the Vanguard Eco is probably the strongest in the current patch. And Riptide is just doing a good job of making use of it. We're seeing this Fiend run by, gets on top of the Bobs. The Bobs do cancel, and they're just going to run away, but there's just too many Fiends here. Mobs are usually invincible, but if you're outnumbered 10 to 1, then you go down. And some fiends here choosing to just hide and come strike another day. And this is pulling Riptide back again. Actually, Riptide is in 2. We've got half the force here. While another little half strike force out here just taking this Therium. A skull going there to retake it. But Johnny's going to have to come in here and fight. All his Hellborn. He's got 5 Hellborn here. I wish there was focus fire on those Hellborn. That's one thing that I think Infernal players need to do there, because all those Hellborn targeted a single Lancer that was out in front instead of targeting on the forward Exo, which would have meant splash over all of those Exos. And with 5 Hellborns raining down on all those Exos, oh, here comes an engagement. No, this could be a huge flank. These units here for Riptide are engaging maybe a little early, and they are trying to get microed here and buy time for these other units to come in the back. Good Miasmas going down here, but also fairly good splits from Riptide. And remember, there's still units up at the top there dealing with brutes. It's almost only Hellborn here, but there are a lot of them. And now it's a system shock as these units. That was the flank I was fearing here. And Johnny had his whole force deleted. He's down to 76 supply here versus 189 coming out of Riptide. Riptide is just going to A-move into this now. Just has a nice huge force, but no, he's smarter than that. He says, I'm not going to A-move there, Al. That's not how I play. I'm going to regroup. I've got a maneuverable Exo ball here. I'm not just going to lose them into some Mags and Hellborn. Going to get more ahead, and then I'll push strategically in. 3 more Vulcans showing up. We got 7 Vulcans in this composition here. That's just a nice mech army to support out these Exos and their medtech buddies. We got towers and an imp, but I'm sorry, Johnny. Here comes your date. It's a date with all of these Vulcans, and look at them. They're just making space. Get these trees out of the way. Huge system shock getting on almost all these units here, and look at the concave that they're able to pull out here. The couple tramples going on the Magmadons. Really nice stuns, actually, but maybe not enough. And that's going to be GG out of Johnny Rico number 10.